Last week was Sanctity of Life Sunday. We're going to talk about a heavy-duty subject this morning. I assume that most of us are probably sort of kind of coming from the same place. The service is going to do two things. It is going to equip you with knowledge to talk to people about abortion. All right, so you're going to get equipped. The second thing that we're going to do is there's also not a doubt in my mind that there are people sitting here who've had an abortion, who have encouraged someone to have an abortion. It's just the way the numbers work, folks. And so we're here to talk about that and to assure you that even though you've been through a tough spot, the Lord blesses. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how you can be a blessing to minister to people who have been through this sort of a situation. All right? I've hired ladies to keep track of things for me. So ladies, if you would like to stroll right up here, here's how it's going to work. Look at that, ladies. There are approximately 1.2 million abortions that take place in America every single year. As you do the math and you divide that out, that's about a baby every 30 seconds whose life is terminated. So since 12 a.m. this morning, statistically speaking, until 10:35, there's been 1,320 lives claimed to abortion. These young women are going to draw a little figure and put an X through it every 30 seconds. Alright? So that's going to be your job to just remind us of what is going on and how important this is. You may start whenever you are ready. How did we get to this horrendous place that we find ourselves? Well, first of all, let's get a working definition of abortion going for us here. Abortion is really quite old. It's been around for a long, long time. And in these times, we can define abortion as the deliberate and intentional termination of a human pregnancy. It's most often performed during the first 28 weeks of a human life. To date, there are 59 million plus abortions that have taken place in America since January 22nd, 1973. There are two kinds of abortion that currently take place in the United States. One involves a surgical procedure. Without getting too drastic, basically what happens is instruments are inserted into the woman and the baby is dismembered, chopped to pieces, and sucked out. The other one, which is just as tough, we have these new drugs on the market now. RU486. This is taken at home in a series of drugs and pills, and this now takes place in the house, in the bathroom, where the mom is all alone. Abortions are very common. In fact, this is from Planned Parenthood website. In fact, 3 out of 10 women in the U.S. have had an abortion by the time they are 45 years old. If you are pregnant, if you're trying to decide if abortion is the right choice for you, you probably have many things to think about. Learning the facts about abortion may help you in making your decision. You'll want to learn more. If you are under 18, your state may require one or both of your parents to give permission for your abortion or to be told of your decision prior to the abortion. However, if in most states you can ask a judge to excuse you from these requirements. I looked up which states require permission and which states will excuse you from notifying your parents. All 50 states give the opportunity for the judge to say to a 15-year-old girl, it's okay, we don't have to give consent to your parents. Only you can decide what is best for you, but we're here to help. A staff member at your local Planned Parenthood can discuss abortion and all your options with you and help you find the services that you need. That's right off their website. I would encourage all of you to just take a moment at some point across the next week. You want to learn more? Look up Planned Parenthood's website and read it. You'll be astonished at the information that's provided to help people make their decisions. All right, let's get a brief history on the table for the way abortion, on-demand abortion really works. And what's the history of it? It's very, very old. It goes all the way back to Greek Roman times, even before the time of Christ, before the time of the Lord. Abortion and infanticide, the killing of babies, went hand in hand. And this was very common, very common practice. Basically, the way that this worked is the father was asked if he wanted the child. The woman brought the child in front of the dad, and the dad had the power to say yay or nay. Most often, if children had any sort of a handicap condition, if it was a girl, if they'd already had a couple of children, that was it. Thumbs down. The babies then went to one of several places. They went to the community dump, where they were dropped off. They went to the community brothel, house of prostitution, where they were dropped off, or they were thrown in the river. That's what people did in those days. It was very, very interesting. The first rescue missions were Christians. It was the Christians of the first century who were noted to go to the dumps, and to the rivers, and to the brothels, and to collect the babies. And they took these unwanted babies, and they raised them as their own. As a result of that practice, this infanticide, after the babies were born, it disappeared. That was the end of infanticide for the next 1,500 years or so. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm sure that it did. But if there was a Christian within 20 miles of a baby that needed a home, it was the Christian community that brought them into their homes and raised these children as their own. Fast forward to the United States of America, about 1840 or so. Abortion is now becoming commonplace prior to the Civil War. Birth rates dropped from 7 to 3.5 kids. Right? So the average family size got cut in half. By 1880, it was estimated that 25% of all pregnancies ended in abortion. Guess who came to the rescue? You won't believe it. The American Medical Association and the feminist movement. Why is the feminist movement associated with stopping abortions? Because women in those days realized what it was like to have their rights trampled upon. And they said, how could we deny life? We who bear children, how could we deny life and deny an existence to people as has been done to us? This is crazy. And so the feminist movement and the American Medical Association were just really strong against abortion. And it backed off for a little bit until about 1915 or so. 1915 saw the introduction into society of this lady by the name of Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger is founder of Planned Parenthood. She began writing prolifically from 1914 until her death into the 60s. Here are some of the things that she shared from her writings. From a book called The Wickedness of Creating Large Families. Sanger argues that the condition of large families tend to involve poverty and illness. It's better for everyone involved if a child's life is snuffed out before he or she has a chance to pose difficulties to the family. We should apply a stern and rigid policy of sterilization and segregation to that grade of the population whose progeny, that's your gene pool, is tainted. Did you hear what I just said? Your progeny is tainted, your gene pool. All right? Margaret, by the way, has some pretty good standards as to what she thinks is a good gene pool. Or anyone who has inheritance such as the objectionable traits that may be transmitted to offspring. From her paper on Birth Control Review, 1932, here's a series of articles that she proposes. The purpose of the American Baby Code shall be to provide for better distribution of babies. In and to protect society against the propagation and increase of the unfit. Article 4, no woman shall have the legal right to bear a child, and no man shall have the right to become a father without a permit. Article 6, no permit for parenthood shall be valid for more than one birth. Giving dysgenic groups, people with bad genes in our population, their choice of segregation or compulsory sterilization. Birth control must lead ultimately to a cleaner race. The last one is beauty. We should have 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can straighten that out if the idea ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members that we are trying to exterminate them. I think Martin Luther King was the deliverance to that woman's worst nightmare. Child number 9 born to a sharecropper's family. God forgive any pastor that had anything to do with this. So that's kind of the background. Jumping forward from there, it was kind of a downhill slide. In 1959, the American Medical Association said therapeutic abortion should be something that is permissible. All right, so it's okay to do this if for some reason the woman's life is in danger, cases of rape and incest. Believe it or not, it was the conservatives who jumped in the 60s who said, oh my goodness, the world the population is exploding, we got to keep the population down. And so the moral majority conservative people began to jump on the abortion bandwagon. And then it was only a matter of time. The conservatives, they didn't go fast enough, so it was a matter of time before we took it to the courts. 1973, Roe versus Wade. Here we are. Abortion is now the second most common surgical procedure in America, second only to circumcision of infants. Amazing, amazing. What is the argument that is provided by the pro-choice movement? All right. So where's their argument? Where are they coming from? If you talk to somebody and they say, I'm all for abortion, what are they going to pitch at you? Well, here might be the first pitch. The first pitch might be that this is not a baby, but it is a fetus. It's just a little blob of tissue. And it really doesn't have any feelings, and it doesn't have any sense of who it is. It can't even live outside of the womb. That argument was shattered about 15 years ago with the development of high-tech ultrasounds, 3D ultrasounds, 4D ultrasounds. These ultrasounds now take you right into a woman's womb. It is fascinating, just amazing. As you know, I have 8 children. When my first son was born, he is 31 now. The tech hooked this stuff up on my wife. She says, "Oh, look at that! Isn't that cute?" And for those of you old enough to remember TVs from the late 50s and early 60s, I had no idea what that was. She says, "Oh, look, he's smiling." It's like, I'll take your word for it. You got me. I don't see any smiling. All I see is this great fuzz all over the screen. You walk into one of these 4D, these new 4D ultrasounds, they are astonishing. That child is staring you right in the face. It is just amazing how much detail is there to be seen. Listen to some of the things that have been discovered with the new technology. Heartbeats. You have a functioning heart 18 to 24 days after conception. You have brain waves measurable brain waves within 45 days. Quickening. A woman can feel this baby starting at around 42 days. Unique fingerprints. the thing that will separate you from every other human being that ever was, those are there at 56 days. All bodily functions are present at 8 weeks. They are fully functioning at 11 weeks. Thumb sucking is detected as early as 11 and 12 weeks. When you see that photograph of baby in the womb, there's not a doubt in your mind that you're looking at the baby. So that argument has been destroyed. So if someone shares with you, well, it's just a fetus, that's an old argument now. They're not up to speed. Have them look up, get on YouTube and look up, a baby at 6 weeks old. And, I don't know if it'll change their mind, but it sure looks like baby to me. That argument is gone. What's the argument these days? Here's the argument these days. A pro-choice position would say that a preborn baby that negatively impacts a mother's mental or physical health or the welfare of her family or future is sufficient reason for a woman to exercise her right to terminate a pregnancy. Well, that's kind of interesting. Left somebody out, didn't it? All right? We're talking a lot about a woman here. It doesn't say anything about a man. And so where is the focal argument? It's on the woman's right to make sure that her mental or physical health won't be impacted or the welfare of her family. And this is sufficient reason for her to exercise her right to terminate a pregnancy. Of pregnancies that have been terminated, 75% of them, when asked, they feel that they can't care for one more person. Right? So we got 4, but there's no way we can do 5. Right? I've worked in high schools. I know a ton of kids that have got abortions. That's a real reason. Right? I know the single mom who terminated a second pregnancy because she said, you know what? I can't even do what I'm doing now. I'm out for number 2. In on that 75%, the baby is determined to be an interference with work, schooling, or caring for others. So that's another popular reason. 50% of women in a single parenthood situation, they don't want to do this. They want to raise a baby by themselves. Or, here's another one, gentlemen, we get to carry a little weight on this too. There's a husband that says, you know what, our family situation is such, we don't want to do this. End it. So those are the popular reasons on pro-choice positions. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that this is a right thing. But when you're talking with folks who've had an abortion or are considering an abortion, that is where they're coming from. They are scared. They feel unsupported, all alone. One of my worst moments as a public high school teacher was being in the girls' bathroom with a 12-year-old girl who was sharing with me that she was pregnant and her parents wanted no part of this. And she didn't want to have this abortion, but she didn't know what to do. What do you do with that one? What do you do when someone comes to you and says, hey, can I talk to you? I know that you go to church and you seem like a really good person. And this woman says to you, I'm 29 years old and I'm in this situation, I don't know what to do. You got somebody else that comes to the church. They've been coming to church for about 6 months now. It's a single woman, she's got 3 kids. She's doing it alone. And she says, you know what, I got a lot of respect for you. My husband, my ex came back, we thought we were working things out. It didn't work. I'm expecting. I'm thinking about having an abortion. What do you think? This stuff goes on, folks. And I know that some of you sitting here have had these conversations. And so I want you to understand where people are coming from. These are the reasons that you're choosing. They are scared out of their wits. They are by themselves, and they don't know where to turn. Let's give you some information to go forward with. Understanding the pro-life position. Christians realize, let me back that up a second. Understanding the pro-life position. The pro-life position says life begins at conception, the unborn babies are fully human, and abortion is taking the life of an unborn human. You know who agrees with that? 110%? You won't believe it. The atheist movement. The atheist movement fully embraces the idea of human life before birth. Amazing. Elizabeth Cornwell, chair of the Richard Dawkins Society. This fellow recently died, Christopher Hutchins. Right? If you know anything about the atheist movement, these are big names. They say absolutely, positively, life begins before that baby is born. And if you doubt that for a second, you are scientifically wrong. You are incorrect in your approach to this. How about good old Bill Nye, the science guy? Bill Nye, the science guy, says that there's no way that that's a life, and this is the woman's right because the baby can't live outside of the mother's womb. Bill Nye's absolutely right. Is Amazing Grace available for sermon illustration? Oh, there she is. Beauty. Kurt, when I drag people up here and then I start interviewing them and make them so nervous about everything? I'm not going to do that. All right, now here's Amazing Grace. Take a look at this baby. All right, she is a beauty. Now I'll tell you what will happen to this little girl, Bill Nye, the science guy, who says that life cannot be possible outside of the womb. If I lay this baby down and I don't touch her for 3 days, guess what? She is dead. All right? Babies require care outside of the womb as same as they do inside of the womb. All right? So that's not a good outcome. That's not a good valid argument. Right? Yeah, you're right. You need your dad. I only like happy babies. So that's a poor argument, it doesn't fly. From a biblical standard, what do you and I say about this whole business? We say that God finds all life sacred and human life the most valuable and precious commodity in the world. Why? Because we are made in the image of our Creator. Value is determined by creation and design. You can be a secular atheist human who believes in abortion. You can be a Christian, and I can prove this very, very easily. All right. Good old Hanes T-shirt. I was over at Walmart yesterday, and they're on sale. $2. All right. They got hot pink, and they got electric neon blue. All right. That's why they're $2 in my book. I wouldn't wear either one of them colors. But you know what? You go down a cube or two, and here's these other cool T-shirts, and they're really cool. They say Buckeyes. I like those shirts. Extra large, by the way, my birthday suit, so get me. Those are not $2 though. Those are $12.99, right? So clearly, design and creation have value to them. They do. And the Lord created us. Another thing, value is determined by protection. Protection. That which is precious is protected. I worked in the Marines. My job for a year and a half was a presidential security job, a presidential security guard. I was joined by 80 of my buddies. We all worked at Camp David together. Besides the 80 Marines, there was also the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. There's no way that you would get into Camp David. It just ain't going to happen. All right? It's protected. Well, again, the Lord protects those that He loves. And there's some laws on the books. Genesis 9:6. Whoever sheds human blood, by human shall their blood be shed. For in the image of God has God made mankind. Exodus 20, verse 13. If you're into scripture memorization, This one is really, really easy. You shall not murder. Right? You shouldn't take another life. And Exodus 23:7, have nothing to do with a false charge, and do nothing an innocent or do not put an innocent or honest person to death. I will not acquit the guilty. Again, this is scriptural arguments. Remember this though, if you are talking with people who don't believe in the Bible, they're not going to buy this. All right? But this is just for you to know your stuff. All right? Value is also determined by cost. This is the heart of the Christian argument right here, ladies and gentlemen. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. You were bought with a price. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. So there's your standpoint, all right? Now, when you're talking with somebody, don't beat them and club them over the head with these things. All right, I was recently reading about a homosexual man, just sharing his heart. By the way, the guy had gone through seminary. He says, you know, the average Christian grabs these verses and says, I call them the clobber verses. Right? When you're working with somebody, you go slow. And you build that relationship. And you listen to them. And there might not be much time. But, you know, you be there for them. And you listen. And see what they have to say. Scripture affords the same sacred value to the unborn child as it does to all human life. Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16. You created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. The Lord knows all about us. He thought about us way more than we've ever thought about him. He's thought about us for eons. He knows all about us before we are even born. It's fascinating. Well, let's talk about some of the reasons that people have abortion today, the reasons that they'll give you, all right? Here's a little, again, this is just straight up information for you to just stick in your head in case anybody wants to argue these points with you. Well, again, one of the ways that it snuck in the 60s was to save a mother's life. All right? We've got to save a mother's life here. Everett Koop. For those of you that remember the Ronald Reagan days, Chick Koop was the Surgeon General of the United States of America. He was a household name. Chick Koop earned his chops at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. All right? That's where Chick Koop got his start. He performed 17,000 hernia operations on babies. He performed 7,000 operations on little boys that had their testicles were inside. He performed 7,000 operations to help little children. He developed a revolutionary liver surgery on infants. He performed countless surgeries on children. Remember Ben Carson, who was famous for separating congenital twins? It was Koop that was doing some of that first operations back in the 80s. This guy knows babies inside out, upside down, and he knows OB/GYN inside out, upside down, and he knows thousands of people that are doctors. This is what he had to say about saving a mother's life, when abortion would be permissible to save a mother's life. He said, you know what? That's a straw man argument. What's a straw man? A straw man sits in the cornfield to scare away the crows, but there's nothing to him. He said in his entire practice, he never met a woman, nor did anybody else that he knew who was in danger of losing their life as a result of being pregnant. Never. Wow. That's pretty heavy. To me, that's pretty heavy credentials saying that this is a false argument. All right? What about cases of rape, incest? What do we do about that? Well, statistics that we have indicate that there's 0.6% that a woman might be pregnant as a result of rape. That does happen, by the way. one of my wife's good friends has a brother that was the outcome of a rape. You know what? The guy's married. He's got 3 kids. He loves his life. He loves his wife. And I read another account in a book called Culture Shock by Chip Ingram, where this man is talking to Chip Ingram. And Ingram's about to make a presentation on this very subject. And the guy just starts crying. He says, if I get up and leave, you'll just have to excuse me, because this is so tender to me. He said, my mother was 14 when she was raped. This was back in the days when, again, pregnant women, it was a taboo anyways, let alone rape. He said, my 14-year-old mother fought my grandparents and the school officials and the doctors and everybody around her so that I could have a life. And by now his wife is just in tears. And she said, I don't know where I'd be today if it weren't for this man. We've been married 12 years. We have 3 kids. You see, God can take any situation and turn it around and make it right. Well, to protect women from butcher jobs, this is why we have to have and illegal abortions. This is why we have to have clinics, these places that are set up. U.S. deaths from illegal abortions in pre-73 days, about 300 a year. There's really not very good stats now as to the number of women who die as a result of botched abortions, because once an abortion is performed, you're referred to the hospital. That's standard operating procedure. Okay, we've done the job. If there's any problems, go to the doc. All right. And the other reason is there's a lot of these abortions are now done at home with medicine. All right. Denmark has a pretty good study though. They did a longitudinal study that came out in 2009. They studied abortions from 1999 to 2009 across 10 years, and this is the statistic that they noted. They said that it was kind of interesting for people that had born children. There were approximately 19 deaths every 100,000 people. For folks who had an abortion, there were approximately 51 deaths, over double as a result, the studies concludes, of abortion. Well, and the big one, to give opportunity for a woman and her family not to suffer financial and mental stress from the burdens of caring for an extra life. Abortion is now easy and relatively safe with pills. The overall death rate of women rises 3.5 times after an abortion. Get this one. Suicide rates are 6 times the average rate of a woman who's never born a child and a woman who has born a child, a woman who has had an abortion. Whew. Now we get to the good part, all right? So that's just background, all right? That's background material for you to just get in your head, and you say, okay, Mike, that's interesting. What do I do with it now? Well, what you do with it now is you apply it and you use it. What would I do as a Christian? Well, here's a couple of suggestions. First of all, you have to find and give forgiveness. There's probably people sitting in here that have had an abortion. There's probably men in here who said, you know what? I don't want that person in my life. You send it, all right? There's probably is. It's just statistically that's the way that it works. Recognize that God blesses and forgives. God used Moses, right? Moses killed somebody. Moses was used mightily by the Lord. God used David. David killed somebody. David was used mightily by the Lord. The Apostle Paul held people's coats while Christians were killed. And I'm sure he threw a few rocks to kill Christians also. Guess what? The Lord forgives every sin. Abortion is not an unpardonable sin. Here's the punishment. Here's the true punishment. And it's true not only of abortion, but any other sin that you got hanging out there. keeping the secret, that's the pain. The stronghold of condemnation and the power of this secret in your past, that's why suicides are 6 times the average rate for a woman who's had an abortion. That's why depression and just shame and guilt is draped all over people, because you got this sin locked inside. Get it out. Find a person who is safe to talk to. Confess. Repent. Get free. Don't let the evil one just put the blanket over his best problem. And don't put the basket over the problem. Get out. Confess with a trusted person. Take some responsibility. I don't know, maybe you need to get involved in a pro-life clinic, right? We got people here that I so admire. They've taken responsibility for children in the world, right? I look at the Everhart family. You got kids. I look at the Stevens family. They're open, they're there, right? I look at the Woodbees. You invite kids into your house to live. If there is a kid that needs a home, would you give it? And if I called you up tomorrow and said, you know what? This lady just dropped off this baby. I need a home. Would you do it? It's going to cost you. Kids are expensive. For the first 3 years, all they do is, throw up, go to the bathroom, leave stuff all over the place. They have they have no social grace whatsoever. They're a lot of work, And they only get older, folks, My mother says wait till they get to be 59. I don't know what she means by that, but kids are a lot of work. Well, open up your life. Let them in. Let them in. And establish some limits, too. Do not yell in condemnation at a person who's had this happen to them. We are to come in loving grace. We're sinners too, We've got our past. There's no sin any greater or any worse than any other sin. Don't come at it with just the clobber verses, and screaming and hollering. We shouldn't go blow up abortion clinics. We shouldn't shoot doctors who perform abortions. The Lord doesn't want that either. That's murderish as certainly as abortion is. How do we go about handling this hard situation? We go about this with the fruit of the Spirit. You've been asked to be a person of love, of joy, of peace, of forbearance, of kindness, of goodness, of faithfulness. Against such things there is no law. Be who you are created to be, and that'll be the end of the abortion problem. Time. All right, ladies, step aside. In the time that I began this service, this is how many people are no longer going to have the opportunity to live on planet Earth. Pray. Open your hearts. And again, extend yourself and bless those people who've been caught in this horrific situation. Lord, it was a tough message today. Thank you for your love and for your grace. Thank you that you would come. And you had no desire for any of us to die. And you came and gave your life that we would live. We thank you so much for that. Lord, I pray for the unborn. Protect them, Lord. Put a person of faith into the life of a woman who's considering having an abortion. May that baby grow to be just a wonderful, strong, loving person of the Lord. And you'll change lives. Thank you for each and everything that you have done for all of us, Lord. And again, just help us to be your hands and feet and to end this scourge in the land. Whatever you call us to do, let it be so. In your name we pray.